In this video, I'll be unboxing, setting up, installing and testing the Vantrue dual channel dashcam model S1. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. It will help me keep bringing you quality videos. The dashcam comes in a nice box with nice colors. You have your usual user manual, which is in 3 languages: English, German, and Spanish. It has some additional cards also. And this is a quick start guide. It's well packaged and well protected. Feels good in the hand. Here you have your usual buttons. The big button in the center is the OK button to lock a recording. And here you have your connection to the power and to the rear cam, your on-off button. And this is a micro SD card slot. The lens can be adjusted up and down, left and right. The rear cam is also well packaged. Of course, it's much smaller. The lens can be adjusted up and down. And it has a button to mirror the image in case it is needed. As a full disclosure, Vantrue sent me this dashcam for test, but this will not influence my review nor my verdict. You can read on the screen the specifications of this dashcam. It has a Novatec processor, Sony IMX327 front sensor and IMX323 rear sensor, 2-inch display, 170 degrees wide angle front lens, 160 degrees wide angle rear lens. It can take dual full HD 30 frames per second videos, and if you hook only the front cam, it can take 2K 24 frames per second videos. It has a mic, and it can support a micro SD memory card up to 256 gigabyte. And it also has a super capacitor and the GPS. I'm finishing unboxing here the dashcam. It has all the required things to be installed except the trim removal tool. It would have been nice if they included it. I'm inserting the micro SD card here from the app of the camera where it goes, and I'm plugging in the camera to set up. The camera fires right away, and it will prompt you to select the language and to set up the date and time, which I'm doing here. It is nice how the buttons functions are displayed on top of the physical buttons. As you see here, the configuration button is well displayed. To enter the setup of the camera, stop the recording by pressing the rec button and press on the menu button. The first option is the resolution, because I have the rear camera hooked up, so the resolution can be full HD only. Loop recording, I like to put it on 1 minute. G-sensor, like to put it on low. Audio recording, I always like to put it on. Exposure value, put it on 0. HDR on. Number plate, keep it off. Stamp here what you want the camera to stamp on the video. Unfortunately, you cannot select the GPS info, either all of it or none. Time lapse, I'm keeping it off. Parking mode, I'm turning it on. Continue the configuration by going to System Setup. Language, we already set it to English. Format SD card, I'll be formatting the SD card because it's new. We already set the time and date. Auto LCD off, it's very important to configure this, so not to be distracted when you're driving. It will turn off the LCD monitor. Device sound, I like to keep it on to have all the beeps. Frequency 60 Hz for North America, and this is the version of the firmware. GPS, it's on. Speed unit, I'm gonna configure it to kilometers per hour in Canada. Here, if you want to view the files that were recorded, once you leave the setup, it will start recording. And here I'm demonstrating the lock function by pressing the OK button. To install the camera, first wipe clean the front windshield for the front cam. Peel off the 3M tape, and it's very easy to peel it off in this camera. Choose where you want to install the camera on the front windshield and make sure it is aligned horizontally, and this is the camera installed. For the rear cam is the same thing. Wipe clean the rear window and install it between the defroster wires and not on them. Here I'm installing it next to my thinkware. Make sure it's well aligned and just stick it to the rear window. Installing the cable here in the rear cam, and I'm tucking the cable in the headliner. Continue tucking the cable in the headliner and then bring it down to the C-pillar. I'm hooking the cable here to an existing cables, and then I prefer to run it in the door sills. Be careful and measure the length needed before running the cable in the door sills. If the length is not enough, you need to run the cable through the headliner. In this case, pay attention to the airbags. You shouldn't have any trouble in a medium-sized sedan. I tried it in a Hyundai Sonata and it was sufficient. Although here I'm demonstrating the installation of the rear cable on my Subaru Legacy. So I'm running the cable in the door sills. Here I'm running it behind the left foot protection in the front of the car, and then behind the weather trims, behind the A-pillar protection, and careful here not to touch the airbag. I'm running it behind the airbag and I'm zip tying it to existing cables behind the airbag, as you'll see in a moment. Here it is, zip tied to existing cables behind the airbag. If you're not sure what you're doing, I advise you to get the help of a professional. I'm tidying things up here, removing the excess zip ties and making sure that everything is tidy and well arranged. So afterwards I run the cable in the headliner all the way to the front camera. This camera doesn't come with a hard wire, so I will be using the 12-volt charging cable. I run it on the right side of the camera, on top of the headliner, behind the A-pillar once again to avoid the airbags. You can run it over the dash or tuck it underneath the A-pillar protection. Then behind the weather trim, below the dashboard, using some duct tape here, and then putting the cable, running it all the way to the 12-volt charger in the car. Here is how the front cam looks from the outside, and this is the rear cam. Forget about the red tape. I kept it so that I can remove it easily afterwards because I'm just testing the cam. This is the day footage quality of the cam. This is the front cam. It's really good. I can say that it's really good. It has a wide angle, as you see, so the picture is a little bit distorted on the sides, but it's okay. Unfortunately, the static noise you hear comes from the cam. I thought it was only my cam, but I looked at other videos of this Vantrue S1 and the static noise was here too. So I'm not sure if it's something in this cam and also it was in the other cam by coincidence. Anyways, the picture quality is good at day for the front cam. For the rear cam, the picture quality degrades a little bit, as you see. It's a little bit washed out. And it's worse at night. You're gonna see afterwards when I do the night shooting. The details are clear, even though the picture is washed out a little bit. Here is the rear cam on the highway. It was a cloudy day. The picture is good. This is the night footage quality of the front cam. Here it's pitch dark and really the quality is really good. So all the details are here. It's well lit, the exposure is good, but you always hear the static noise. License plates on the side are a little bit washed out, and this is due to the headlights of the car. And this is the front camera on the highway at night. You see I'm on the far right lane and I can see the car on the far left lane. This is a 3-lane highway. You see here the rear cam and at the night is not very good. There is glare, and maybe this is due to the headlights of the car behind me. So it's blinding the camera a little bit. It's okay. You can see some of the details, but it's not as good, let's say, as the thinkware that I have. Here on the highway also, you see. Sound quality of the microphone is good, except for this static noise.
Testing the Vantrue S1 dashcam. It's a beautiful night in Montreal.
I would like to bring to your attention 3 things I would like Vantrue to address and correct. Careful not to break the rear cam when you adjust the lens angle, because the angled cable hits the rear window. So here I'm having a message to Vantrue. This can be easily corrected by the adoption of a straight cable instead of an angled cable. Also, the front cam buttons stay lit after the screensaver is active. This can be a distraction to the driver if the camera is visible. And the third thing is that the LED light at the rear cam stays on. This would attract attention to prying eyes if the cam is hardwired. I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please share it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel.